And welcome back, everyone, to What If from who gave me this again? The True God Killer. Let's see here. The True God Killer, Nitterabus, Dylan Helling, and Jolam Fortune. Oh, and the truth. Ask the question of what if Naruto went with Mizuki? There's a reason this is a one-shot, you'll notice. So right out the gate, how does this even work? Obviously, Mizuki reveals that he's the Nine Tails in the original deck. Naruto is freaked out by this, runs away. Naruto! And then, obviously, Miruka says the whole thing. So how would this have to change first off? Mizuki maybe plays it up to Naruto instead as you are the nine-tailed fox. Like, but that's okay, Naruto. It's all right. You know, not everyone can accept us for who we are sometimes. Believe me, I understand. But I've met someone who can help me, who can change that. If you want to, you can come with me, Naruto. We can meet. It's like, no, Mizuki, don't you dare. Naruto, please. It's like, no, that's right. You killed his parent. He killed your parents, didn't he, Iruka? Didn't you hate him for it? It's like, no. And then he's like, no, Iruka said, it's okay, Naruto. It's okay. And so he plays the silver-tongued devil, the trickster. And then Naruto's like, oh, I just want to be. No, it's like, it's okay. You will be. So let's go. Just give me the scroll. It's like, okay. And it's like, yes. Now come on, Naruto. It's like, but Iruka. And Mizuki's accepting me. Because Naruto isn't the brightest at this point in the series. Naruto, no! And so he takes Naruto with him. So who's this guy? Like, oh, he's a great man. You'll get to meet him soon enough. Now, here's the thing. The whole him working for Orochimaru thing, as far as we know, that's just anime. But if we are to take anything of this for face value, and use it, because we don't actually know what he was going to use the scroll for in the manga. But if we go by the anime, which is what we'll do, he would bring him to Orochimaru. And Orochi said, I brought you the scroll. Oh, the scroll of sealing. Interesting indeed. It's like, I would like you to process, of course, the recipe for the curse mark I gave you. But what's this? You brought a friend, Mizuki. Yes, Naruto Uzumaki, the Nine-Tails Fox Jinchuriki. I see. Well, welcome, Naruto. Tell me, what is it you wish for? It's like, I just want to be accepted. I see, you poor child. Well, don't you worry. Well, I'm here you'll be accepted with open arms. And so he becomes a test subject for Orochimaru. Not initially, Orochimaru gets his slimy claws into him, essentially. And now Mizuki ultimately meets his fate. He meets the fate he would meet. By the way, I'll give you my manga take on this after the fact, because I really don't think it's going to be it's a multi-parter. But what this means is the scroll ceiling is gone. Orochimaru has it. Naruto is now being manipulated, used. They're testing the fox's chakra. Eventually, though, and he probably even gets a curse mark slapped on him. He basically just gets brainwashed between like genjutsu, psychological treatment, and if Naruto doesn't cooperate, they just slap chakra seals on him and just keep him there permanently. So yeah, what would go on throughout the village until then? I think Danzo gets to put Sai on Team 7 first and foremost, because they're not gonna, the Nine Tails is gone. It's like, we need to keep an eye on the last Uchiha no matter what. I think Danzo's able to get his way and have, Sai, a member of the group, put on Team 7. So that Team 7 going up against Zabuza, that is not good. Because really, to be honest, the only reason they won was because of Naruto being as tricky as he was. I don't see Sai and Sasuke cooperating in the same way, which honestly means Kakashi probably dies. Team 7 also probably gets just axed off, period. Now, it's different if you have someone like, say, Akiba on the team who would be more of a rival to Sasuke, and they might be able to figure out something. That one is different. And Sai is competent, certainly, but not. But again, I don't see like ink. Just the water would just be a natural disadvantage or a natural advantage to his ink. So that's not going to go well. So ultimately, Zabuza probably ends up killing all of them, which means then that news travels to Land of Waves, or Land of Fire. They fail the mission, and Kakashi, they're one of their best, is dead, along with the last Uchiha. Everyone who's in the class just hears that Sakura and Sasuke are dead, and they're just overwhelmed. Guys, Kakashi, how could you? Damn it all, Kakashi! Because I mean, if Kakashi could have gotten out of that water prison on his own, he would have done it. Let's be honest, he would have done it. So he was probably stuck in that water prison. And again, I've never understood that because they say you're not like you shouldn't be able to, but we've seen people be able to kind of move in there. So really, just stab them in the hand or something. Or light. For God's sake, you have lightning chakra. As far as I know, the water prison just keeps you in there. You should still be able to kind of move around. I mean, it's dense, sure, but as long as you can kind of get your hands together and mold chakra, lightning, something, wind, you got all the elements, Kakashi. We know this. Anyway, this also would lead to a very dour tuning exam. Now, Orochimaru probably doesn't go after the leaf here because Sasuke's dead. He's very upset to hear that the last Uchiha was killed. But what this does mean is like, very well then, I'll have to find a different way, a different one. Naruto Uzumaki. Kabuto, run the tests. I need to be sure. And so he, tests Naruto's DNA. It's true. He's about 50% Uzumaki. His blood type is about 50% Uzumaki. Indeed, an Uzumaki's stamina and body. Naruto, he'll make a good vessel. But the nine-tailed fox, yes, that is problematic. I grant you that, Kabuto. But that doesn't mean it's a complete impossibility. Ever since Kimimaru fell ill, I needed a new vessel. I believe this boy could be my answer. Initially, I thought Sasuke could be it, but now with the Jiraiya, the Sharingan lasting me forever, I suppose the power of the Nine Tails will suffice. But again, sir, how are we supposed to do that? Oh, there'll be ways. And sure enough, if Orochimaru truly wanted to have a Jinchuriki as his, and the power of a tail beast, there's really not a lot that would have stopped him. For a guy who was interested in all the jutsu of the world, his lack of interest in Jinchurikis and tail beasts is kind of odd. But who knows? I think that because of the way the seal works, I mean, truth be told, if he took Naruto's body with the seal in place, I don't think there's anything that stops the seal, really. I think the only thing that would be problematic is that he'd have to be fighting the Nine-Tailed Fox's soul, basically, because it's basically transferring his soul into someone else's body, but there's technically a separate entity. I think that's the one thing that prevents him from wanting to do that, or at least a big reason that prevents him from wanting to do that. But I imagine that, putting other seals in place, making sure, it's all good. I think eventually he's like, no, Naruto, you want to be of use. Yes, Lord Orochimaru, you want to be of service. Then I thank you, Naruto, for your body. No! and so, I can feel it trying to fight its way out of me, Kabuto. After he takes Naruto's body, its way out of me, Kabuto. That technically, by the way, now makes Kabuto, or Orochimaru, the Azura Path reincarnated, because Naruto didn't die. He's just Orochimaru now has that body. So that's an interesting little scenario we find ourselves in. But Sasuke is dead. Now, if I remember correctly, the Asura and Indra paths don't reincarnate until both reincarnations have died and passed on. That's why they didn't reincarnate until Naruto and Sasuke, because Madara ended up living much longer into the modern age. And then he died, and then they were roughly born and reincarnated. So now you have Orochimaru walking, basically having the Nine Tails, and basically through his research, learning to extort the power for himself. This would eventually lead him to go after the Hidden Leaf Village. Sarutobi would be too. Sarutobi was arguably too weak to take him on to begin with, but now with the vitality of an Uzumaki and the power of a tail beast on his side, I don't know how far he'd go with the tail beast power, but at least 3 tails and this power, it's like pure rage incarnate. It is quite impressive indeed, old man. And so Sarutobi would still have to take his soul, but he'd only succeed in taking his arms. And because of that, he'd actually have to wait 3 years to freaking transfer to another body because he'd already done it to Naruto because he waited a bit longer. And yeah, the Akatsuki now would be, because the Akatsuki have resources too. They would find out Orochimaru was the one with the 9 tails, and that means they have to keep moving their asses quite a bit. Because as it stands, the Akatsuki definitely wanted to take Orochimaru out, but he wasn't a priority for them. Now he'd be a priority for him. And you want to talk about, like, as skilled as Orochimaru's network is of, like, spies information, Zetsu can just show up in places if he really needs to. I think and honestly, to be fair, I don't know if Orochimaru knew what their actual plans were just to collect the tail beast, so that would actually maybe prevent him. That might be another reason he didn't have interest in tail beast, not because he didn't have interest, because he knew it would make him a target for the Akatsuki. Food for thought. Anyway, meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, the Chunin exams would probably go about the same, minus the fact that Team 7's not there. Now, this would mean I'd have to do a completely different roster of the Chunin exams, but I actually think it's kind of irrelevant in this, because as time goes on and you know, you got the Uzumaki healing factor and all that, Orochimaru's arm become at least manageable. They probably go to Tsunade. Tsunade fails. Tsunade fails. Tsunade doesn't try to help him. But truth be told, if Jiraiya and Naruto hadn't shown up, they would have taken Tsunade. And they would have forced her to heal his arms. And I think that's the case here, is that even though Jiraiya's trying to look for Tsunade, he wouldn't because Naruto was able to hit that Rasengan on Kabuto. I think that's really what saved the day, because if he hadn't done that, Shizune wasn't going to be able to stop Tsunade, and Jiraiya was in just no shape to fight. She had weakened him. If you get even a half scenario like Jiraiya showing up and him still drugging him, yeah, this doesn't go well for Tsunade. I think Tsunade gets captured, is forced to heal his arms. Which, by the way, do we think that would have worked? Because his arms were literally missing their soul. That's why the arm part of his soul was missing. So, do we think that would have done it? Like, could she have healed something like that? They seem to have thought she could have. So let's just assume he can. Now he continues to train and subjugate the Nine Tails, draw out more of its power while also refining it. He's probably got like a full nine-tail version 1 cloak or something at that point. He'll never be on good terms with Kurama. Hell, even Naruto was never on good terms. It took forever to get on good terms with Kurama. But that means that during the time, is Jiraiya still alive is another question. Let's say for the argument, yes, he is forced into the role of Hokage. Because Tsunade's gone, the third's dead, he's got to be Hokage. And Naruto's long gone. The Akatsuki would try to make their move. They try to rescue Gaara, but to no avail. Naruto's gone. So Shikaku is taken. Orochimaru hears about this, like, not good. The Akatsuki will be making their move. So really, it'll be the Akatsuki versus Naruto for a lot of this. Because there wouldn't be any invasion of pain. Yeah, it'd be Hidan and Kakuzu. But without Kakashi and Naruto there, they would have straight out gotten killed by Kakuzu. So Team 10 probably gets axed off at some point. Ooh, man, this is getting more dark and not good. By the way, I still see this mostly happening if Mizuki and Naruto were just to go out on their own. Like him trying to train Naruto, we don't even know what he really could do apart from having that big Fuma Shuriken. Yeah, he had a curse mark allegedly, but that's not a lot. Um, so as Orochimaru's telling the kills like, I'm saying they'll be coming for me eventually, but the little I know, the Nine-Tail has to be sealed last. So I can wait. I can wait them out. And that's what happens. He has to wait them out. Now we know Killer Bee evades capture. Well, he evaded capture because Sasuke and his group were kind of novices. And so Killer Bee probably again send Kisame after him, but they would still escape. Killer Bee would still escape. However, Kage summon meeting would probably be declared. Most of the Akatsuki, if not all the Akatsuki, is still actually very much active here. Sasori, Datara, they're still around. Honestly, the only one that's really gone is Hidan, because we know Shikamaru straight up took his ass out. Otherwise, all the Akatsuki is still very much active. That's not good. So they call Akage-san to deal with the Akatsuki, but the Akatsuki are, still out and about. They're talking about dealing with the Akatsuki. Difference is Obito's not going to be declaring a war on them. So I don't know if there's no declaration of war. And there's no pain arc here, at least not in the traditional sense. So the Kages are trying to figure out what to do about the Akatsuki. And we can't find them, so it's impossible to deal with. Meanwhile, Killer Bee would probably be because this would be going on longer because they'd be just delegating different ideas. It would really be more like kind of like a multi-day thing because they're not under any pressure from either attacking forces or someone barging in and declaring war. No, they're just discussing the matter. So I think Killer Bee actually gets fully caught here. Eight Tails gets extracted, and this would leave Orochimaru versus the Akatsuki. And so, eventually, they get found. Orochimaru's like, it took you long enough to find me. It's like, Orochimaru, your aspirations have definitely given you your aspirations have certainly driven you to greater heights, haven't they? Becoming the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails. Indeed, not an easy endeavor, mind you, but it was all in the pursuit of knowledge. After all, without the use of that Sharingan, that I had to seek other avenues of power. Still, it hasn't been the easiest of time. Like occasionally, like his finger twitches, because he would be approaching his 3-year limit. He would be. So actually, though, he probably could have swapped into a new body at this point because he would have done the transfer earlier, probably. So yeah, he has a new body at this point. Now, but are we all alone? And let's say this is says all alone. No, we had a good idea of what your plan was, so we made sure that we would be ready for it. Isn't that right? And he's like, Itachi, good, Kisame, it's been some time, and Sasori. And like most of the Akatsuki's there, and he goes like, perhaps you'd like me to show you something instead. And he goes full on like Orochi, and with the Nine-Tails chakra coursing through, and Kisame's like, guys, he has Samahara there, absorbing the Tail Beast chakra. It would be a knockout drag knuckle brawl. And he'd even probably take out individuals like Sasori and Datara. Kisame would definitely be a problem because of the chakra absorption of Samahara. Itachi's always a problem. Eventually, though, there's just a slow walk. It's like, you, leader Sama, Orochimaru, this is enough. Busho Tenen. And just pulls him into the Preta path. Starts eating his chocolate. Substitution. Just get out of there. Shinra Tensei. Chibaku Tensei. And then basically, all the Akatsuki would easily beat Orochimaru, even at this point. So they'd ultimately grab him, extract the Nine-Tails, And now the Ten Tails is created, pretty much. Obito actually uses this to turn into Jubito, and then Madara, basically, they betray him. Madara gets resurrected. And then he does the Infinite Tsukiyomi, and then Kaguya takes over, and Kaguya wins. And then eventually you get Momoshiki, Ishiki, you get all of them coming into play and all that. So, yeah, the problem is, the only way we can really look at this in a realistic way is the idea that Mizuki was going towards Orochimaru, which we know was at least the anime case. Even if we go with the manga, there's not a lot where Naruto can be taught by Mizuki. Yeah, Mizuki would probably be harsh, abusive. Naruto would probably just quit on him after that, to which then Mizuki just kills him. And then the Nine Tails would manifest, because he's not, even with the Shadow Clone. Actually, no, he did learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu, but Mizuki would just, kill him with his back stirred. Nine Tails manifests somewhere else, gets caught by someone, probably either Pain, Obito, or someone, and then you still basically get a general scenario like what you just got here, except now it's a lot easier to get there. Because now, like, they already have the Nine Tails early on, and then the Infinite Tsukiyomi takes place, and everyone's screwed. So, yeah, Naruto going to Mizuki is not a good idea. But I digress. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Put a poll up for which one you want next, the Zanpakuto, Devil Fruit, or Resurrection series. Join us for the next one. See you later.